man, you know this is going to be a real one by the title. The Most High Yah gave a man nuts for a reason. Man, I remember as a drill sergeant, man, being at the top of that rappel tower, and you got these big burly boys that had a feminine spirit on there, had a feminine spirit on them, and getting at the top of the rappel tower and got all these excuses, you know, as if they got a female part between their legs, a vagina. And I used to whisper to them, "You got nuts between your legs, don't you? Get down that rappel tower. Trust in your training. Trust the process." Man, we are witnessing some very sick, dysfunctional, and disgusting stuff. And we are at a very pivotal moment in these last days. And I tell you, men, you were given the role of leadership, but a lot of men have handed their authority that the Most High Yah gave them, their headship, over to the woman that is the weaker vessel, biblically. We can prove that biblically, okay? Some of the sick stuff that we are seeing is people publicly raise their hand for all kind of abomination. Women and men raising their hand. Oh, I think you got men out here. Oh, you're looking at soft shells of men with manicured eyebrows, care more about their hair. Well, I think if a child wants to identify as a frog, then we should allow the taxpayers should fund the surgery to allow them to be frogs. Like Most High Yah gave you nuts, and you are not moving in your authority. I'm telling you, man, men are a part of a shaping operation. Men, you need to, when you think about this, when you hear, let's hear the conclusion of the matter. Fear the Most High Yah and keep the commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. What do you call yourself doing? You got to understand, when Adam took that fruit, he made a choice to disobey the Most High Yah. You got to understand, as a man, you are behind the wheel. If the ship sinks or the car crashes because you listen to the co-pilot saying turn left down a one-way road and then go 100 miles an hour with traffic coming towards you, man, you got to wake up and realize, man, this person wants me to crash out. And we're seeing a very pivotal point in the last days. And men, let me tell you something. When I say this is a shaping operation, your choices in your leadership today, or lack thereof, are going to shape the future environment that you have to live in. If your little sons, is walking around in wigs and high heels, 10 years from now, it's because of your lack of leadership now. Listen to what I'm saying. Man, what you say goes. I tell you, man, there's times where the enemy wants to call your bluff. The enemy wants to call your bluff. But as a man, you got to stand on business, knowing that you was created in the image of Yah and that he has your backing. You don't get negotiated and leveraged for wickedness by the enemy. But we live in a daytime and hour where a whole generation of young women is wearing baggy pants and the men has got on leggings. I'm telling you, men, it's time to grab them nuts righteously. Look in the mirror when you wake up and say, I'm a man. Because we got, It's shocking. Man, that week last week was so shocking of how many effeminate men there are out there guiding household. When you look at Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade, that all that man has known how to do is dribble balls. Dribble balls. Man sitting up there with multicolored rainbow fingernail polish on, and you wonder why the house is jacked up. You wonder why the book says women and children have become their oppressors. Men, you got to stand up, because here's the thing. If your house falls and you sit back and say nothing, that's a lack of leadership. You're going to have these moments where people are going to pressure you and want you to do this and shame you, but the book tells you you will be persecuted for righteousness' sake. Don't move from that. Do not move from that in these days. These people sitting up, well, I think the taxpayer should just, if the doctor approves it and it's medically approved, and you should just, you got men out there that are co-signing with their wives to get their sons' dick and balls cut off, and wonder why they jacked up later in life. You got young girls out there where you got a man sitting up there, well, I just want to support my daughter and want my wife to know that she's loved, and your doggone daughter is getting her woman parts removed, and you're sitting by wondering why 10 years from now she's got all this delusion and mental health problems on this medication. I don't work for that. But I'm telling you, man, men, we are seeing some sick stuff. I'm telling you, man, you don't want to be when Hamashiach comes, you don't want to be one of these long-haired Pantene Pro B brothers. No. You look at the men of the book, they was warriors. And you look at what it is now. These men, I'm telling you, a lot of these men, like, if, no offense, but if you're on that feminine side, you need to get around some men of grit, some men of righteousness, not religious, of righteousness. Yah-fearing men that keep the commandments. They're built differently. They don't acquiesce and capitulate. I don't give a dang if the whole spot blow up. I'm not budging, because I know at the end of the day, I'm not going to be judged by these people's feelings and emotions. I'm going to be judged by every word of that doggone Torah of the Most High Yah. Man, you got to stand firm. When you getting these threats and you facing persecution, well, if you don't support it, I'm going to divorce you. Hey, flip that. Run it. Not budging. You got to stand strong. Man, shout out to the daughters of Zion that are going against the ways of the world and being mothers and being wives. Shout out to you. Your price is far above rubies. I can't tell you enough, man. And you know, when you look at a lot of these dynamics, you know, you got men out there that are taking the bait on stuff that logic would dispel. You got men falling for the trickery. Men loving the deception. Most of y'all gave you some nuts for a reason as a man. Man, I tell you, this generation, if men don't stand up today and be a light, a pillar of light to the next generation of men, man, you can count it good as gone. You can count it good as gone. And sick as this stuff is, I like, when I think about living on a homestead, I didn't move far enough. Because this stuff is sick. It is sick. You got men raising their hand to be soft and supple. Men don't want to build, they want to bake. You know, men want to sit up in front of that makeup vanity and worry about their eyebrow. Just because a man was born a man doesn't mean he's righteously masculine. A lot of these men don't have a bit of fight or warrior in them. And a lot of women going to find out the hard way. If a threat comes, your man is going to tuck tail and hide behind you. Somebody could come up and threaten your life, and they could smack the living fire out of him, and he going to sit there and cry. He ain't going to do nothing. You're going to find out that a lot of these men in the last days ain't built like that. They're more worried about looking masculine than having the spirit of a true masculine man. Men wonder why this Western society looks at us as an ATM machine. Why? Because you don't offer nothing else. As far as being a provider, a forager. You know, if that grocery store shuts down, man, how am I going to provide food? Or you going to be one of the men that say, you know what, I'm going to just go get in line with my wife. Life is hard. The book says, be strong and courageous. I'm telling you, man, when you are walking in the Ruach HaKodesh, you have the full 100 unmitigated support of the Most High Yah. I tell you, man, if you got any of these little men around you and they got a little twitch in they step, little Splendor, little Stevia, hey, pull them in. Pull them in. They going down a dead end road. I'm telling you, you got more men. Like, you look at trade jobs is wide open. Wide open. This young generation of men, they got a sense of entitlement to where they think somebody's supposed to give them something. And the book don't say that nowhere in there. It talks about how hard you're going to have to work as a man and still face persecution. Telling you, men, don't. The worst thing you can do is delegate your authority to somebody that's not fulfilling the will of Yah. Because at the end of the day, when the spot blows up and the gig is up, guess who's to blame? You as a man. So you might as well stand. He gave you 10 toes, from a big toe to a pinky toe. And you better plant them things solidly on this ground, grab them nuts rightly, and recognize you have a voice. Don't let your doggone voice get diminished. The people that was raising their hand for some of this foolishness would tell you that not only do they love you, but they are pro-life and all of that, but the actions and the behaviors that we're seeing, some of these videos and reels, oh, man, men, you are part of a shaping operation. And contrary, if you are trying to please the court of public opinion, I'm telling you right now, you have failed. You have failed of pleasing all these people that live as heathens and live as lawless, have a form of godliness. The book tells you to avoid them. You sit up there trying to make everybody happy. Okay, let me break this down. A man doesn't even understand. A lot of men don't even understand what it takes to get a family from not keeping the commandments to keeping the commandments. Oh, there is a lot of persecution that comes with that. There's a man that's going to watch this and say, you know what? This holiday season, we ain't keeping none of these holidays. And he's going to be persecuted. He's going to be persecuted in his own doggone house. And I'm telling you, like, you have to be willing to stand your ground righteously. Righteously. And here's the thing. A lot of it has to do with how much you have allowed the state access to be the head in your household. And that state isn't going to allow you to have authority. They're going to be the head. And you're going to be the problem. So I tell you, men, recognize the signs. When you see some of this stuff out here, hey, make sure you wake up in the morning, hey, you get you some push-ups in, get that testosterone flowing, get up off of that couch. Like when things jump off, you don't need couch potatoes. When things jump off, we don't need men that have only wisdom they have and only information in their mind that they have is what's the score from the basketball game or the football game. We don't need that. We need men that, hey, he knows how to put that together. This brother right here knows how to do that. He knows how to do this. He's got experience in this and wisdom in that, and we can put it together. That's what we're going to need. Every man to fulfill a different function in the body of Hamashiach. Not getting sucked into this doggone world and to be distracted by all of this bread and circus and entertainment. Tell you, man, the book says an effeminate man will not inherit the kingdom. The Most High Yah ain't budging. So, men, I'm telling you, you might want to realize that the Most High Yah, he gave you them nuts for a reason. Stand up. Be a man. Be strong and courageous. If you are in a leadership position, which you are, if you are the head of a household, man, you got to stand flat-footed. Stand flat-footed. I'm not going for none of that. Y'all just going to have to be mad. There ain't going to be no peace up in here. But guess what? We will not violate them commandments of the Most High Yah. We will not violate our knowledge of what we know of the Torah. We ain't violating. I'm telling you, man, you got a lot of pastors out there, male pastors, that know that this stuff is not biblical. And you know what? They're going to be right in the store in Target, getting them Christmas lights, pushing that cart around, hoping don't nobody see them and call them on it. Dragging that tree up in the house, putting an angel on it, singing these songs, wearing these heathen sweaters. Man, you better say, flip that, man. Flip that. I ain't doing that this year. Throw all that crap away. Get it all out your attic, everything. Thanksgiving. The book say, show Thanksgiving. It don't say keep Thanksgiving. All heathen holiday. You got to stand up and be a man. Your family, your mama, your auntie, your granddaddy, your uncles, if they ain't walking in truth, fear, and the Most High Yah keeping the commandments, them gonna be the people that persecute you. Where you at, nephew? We miss you at Thanksgiving. We miss you at Christmas. You don't want to eat some of Granny's ham? Man, you better stand up and say, hey, I'm not no. I tell you, people try to persecute me, and I take the same kind of pleasure in vain that Hamashiach came in and calling the Pharisees hypocrites to their face, and I say, hey, I'm not no heathen. What you talking about a heathen? You calling me a heathen? Well, it looked like you part of heathen activity. And you won't have no, once you chin check this stuff, you won't have no problem. People will just say, you know what, I'm gonna just leave. That is different. That dude different. But guess what? The book says the Most High Yah's people are a peculiar people. You got to be doing something peculiar instead of what's common as a man. You know, people trying to. I tell you, man, like at work they be planning these Christmas parties, and you will come to this bull crap. Hey, I put in my resignation right now. Right now, people are like, man, you 18 years on it. You gonna doggone leave it behind for that? I sure will. I've been good at this, and this won't be the last thing I've been good at. Play with me. People will look at you like a doggone fool, man. You might as well just go ahead and just stick it out. Hey, if it comes down to it, hey, it's game over. Because at the end of the day, I'm not allowing nobody else to dictate my faith and lose out on salvation, maintaining my ruach. You got to think, man, they thought Job was crazy as a man, sitting on that doggone pile of Shiza. That's German for shit. The book says dung. But they thought he was crazy. Job was just, in the Testament of Job, he was just sitting there smelling funky, looking homeless, flies all around. Man, Job stood 10 toes down. That's what we gonna need. And the Most High Yah hand selected him for Hasatan to tempt. Telling you, man, if you care more about the things of this world as a man, the book says you are an enemy of Yah. Men, man, he gave you them nuts for a reason. And you need to take great pride in being a righteously masculine man. Book says return to the old path. A lot of this stuff and technology and stuff that's out is making men docile. And when a man becomes docile, he becomes effeminate. That estrogen gets very high. All this stuff of convenience. You see what I'm saying? I remember the first time I was building something on the homestead. Man, I didn't have the money at the time to go buy a doggone nail gun, the compressor, all the whole kit. I said, you know what? I got a hammer in there. Let me get these nails. And it was just driving nails left and right. Thousands of nails. Turn to the old path. That's how the old stuff was done. Telling you, man, we are in some sick times. And if you don't want to end up like a Dwayne Wade, sitting in there painting your fingernails and and it went from I was in there, painting my daughter's nails to I let her paint mine, and that doggone spirit then jumped off on you. That man in there getting pegged. Y'all better wake up. It is spiritual warfare out here. And right now, you can see by some of these videos that people are posting, the stuff that they want to go forth is completely against the Most High Yah. And they're saying it publicly. Contrary to if they say they believe in God, you need to start asking, what God do you believe in? Can't be the one of the book. Got to be one of these other Roman, Greco, freaks. You look at their artwork, it's all jacked up, all the men and babies and a big old artwork of stone pornography, orgies, men. Man, I'm telling you, wake up. Remove all this stuff from your life. I'm not saying you got to, be no bodybuilder, but hey, keep yourself in tip-top shape, being nimble. You got to think, man, Abraham had some warriors around. You can read in Genesis, man, Abraham armed his trained servant. They weren't sitting around eating potato chips, talking about arching their eyebrows. No, they was ready to go, battle ready. Closer to y'all ministries, kicking it gun barrel straight. Hope you guys have a blessed day. Out.